Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, today we're going to talk about multiple offers, and we're going to talk about multiple offers from both you're the seller and you're getting all the offers, or you're one of the buyers having to deal with your agent telling you there's multiple offers.
Right.
Before we do that, though, Juana, what are some disclosures they should be aware of before we move forward?
Multiple offers differ as far as the rules go from state to state. They may or may not be legal in your jurisdiction, but we are going to pretend that they are and talk about how they work in general.
Yeah, there's some specific things that may not, like certain states may allow you to and do and not do with multiple offers, like escalation clauses, things like that. So we're just going to talk in general and then talk about whether like it's good to disclose things like that.
Right. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of disclosing multiple offers if you are a seller. And then we're going to also discuss what does that mean if you are a buyer.
All right. Okay. If you have a story about a situation where you won a multiple offer situation and you had an interesting strategy, put that in the comments.
Yeah.
And if you were a seller and you handled a certain, like if you remember handling it a certain way. Okay. We just pulled the numbers again to be precise, but we have sold 3,000 houses.
Over 3,000, but yes.
Over 3,000 houses. Almost all of those, you and I individually or together, were the listing agent.
Right.
So we're the ones getting to see all the offers.
Right.
The most number of offers I had on a property was 125. It was absolutely painful. We actually only countered back the highest 5.
Right.
We were just rejected. The seller just said reject everybody else. Do you remember the highest number you ever had?
I don't.
Okay.
I just remember the spreadsheet that went on forever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What we're going to do here is we're going to start with some language that is included in our listing agreement that we use with our sellers. You may not. If you're selling your house, you may have this language. And if you don't, this is a conversation you want to have with your agent, right? Okay. Let's start with the first. I'll put this up on the screen. We'll just kind of leave it up so you guys have something to look at while we talk. Okay. The first line is seller does or does not authorize broker to disclose the existence of multiple offers to purchase the property for potential buyers. Now, the average seller out there is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why wouldn't I want to tell the other buyers that I've got other offers? Because that would get them like to come in with a higher amount. So give a reason why you would not.
So I've got some great reasons, actually.
Okay.
So there are buyers out there, more than you think, that do not want to compete with other offers. So let me give you an example. Buyer's agent calls up and says, hey, I'm going to show 123 Banana Street. Do you have any offers? And you say, yes, I've got an offer. And the buyer's agent says, oh, well, then never mind. We're not even going to look at it because my client doesn't want to compete. So maybe a better answer would be, there's a lot of interest in this property. I would encourage you to show that property right away, because we want every buyer to see the property and then give them a reason to compete. But if they've never seen the property, they're not going to want to compete. If they've seen the property, they're more likely to want to participate if there are multiple offers.
Okay, for that example, because some real estate agents can be super persistent and annoying at the same time. They say, all I need to know if there's other offers, and you need to tell me. You have to tell me.
So I don't have to tell them. So the reason I don't have to tell them is because I don't have permission, maybe, because my listing agreement says that I'm not allowed to disclose that.
And then they go, I know, okay, I get it. You said in there, but I want you to tell me.
So, you're right. But most agents aren't quite that clever. When I say I've had a lot of interest in the property, they do not perceive that as code for I've got multiple offers.
What is an advantage of telling them you have multiple? Because the thing I hear all the time is buyers will say, oh, the listing agent said they had other offers. They're lying. They're just saying that. like, do you have to prove it? You don't have to prove it, right? That you don't have to like send them copies of the offers. They can see what they are.
So no, we do not have to prove it. We would if we were brought up on ethics charges, then we might have to do that. But no, the reason we don't have to prove it is because we do have a responsibility to maintain the privacy of those buyers. So we certainly would not be doing that if we sent them a copy of the offer we had.
I've actually had listings where I had an offer that was absolutely a terrible offer, like it was a low ball, and somebody called and said, "Hey, client wants to make an offer, but he doesn't want to compete with other offers." I go, "Oh, yeah, I have one offer already." He goes, "Okay, we're not even gonna make an offer." And I go, "Oh, you know what? It's a really terrible offer. You should seriously just submit something." "Nope, I'm not gonna do it." So like, oh, great. So, yeah, that sometimes you just want to make the offer.
Right.
This idea that you don't look, if you don't want to get in a bidding war, then just offer what you think it's worth, and that's it. If you don't get it, who cares? You're 100% not going to get it if you don't make an offer.
Right. My position when I work with a buyer is offer what the property is worth to you. The list price is an invitation to make an offer. It is neither the maximum, the minimum, or anything else that the property will sell for. It's nothing more than an invitation to make an offer. So as a buyer, make an offer for what the property is worth to you. So if the property is $1 million and the property is worth $950 to you, then offer $950. If the property is $1 million and there aren't any other offers, then offer them the $1 million because that's what it's worth to you. Offer what it's worth. If there are multiple offers, it doesn't matter what the multiple offers are,
Right.
because under that scenario, what if the other offers are $700,000 and you were willing to pay $950 and the property sells for $700,000? You're not going to feel very happy.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, if you don't play, you can't win.
All right. The next line, seller does or does not authorize broker to disclose the offer's price and terms. Now, this means to the other agents. Okay, this is where we're in heavy disclosure area by state. There are some states, I'm sure, that absolutely do not allow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what states they are. Washington, D.C. might be one of them, but I know for sure there are states where that information is confidential, because you're not fair to the buyer when you're when you're using their offer to get other people to compete. Mm-hmm. Like, you're allowed to say highest and best, but you can't just say, look, this other person offered $450 and they want to close in 3 weeks, mm-hmm. and they're, but it's a really shaky loan, so, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So let's give an example where it's not beneficial to tell the other agent the other offers that you have.
Well, the example I just gave, if you're listed for $1 million and the other offers are $700,000, it's not beneficial to say, hey, the other offers are $700,000, we're listed for $1 million, go ahead and offer us a few dollars more. That's not beneficial. So it depends.
Okay, what about an example where it is beneficial?
So when it's beneficial, it's letting people know, hey, we're listed for, same example, $1 million. We have some offers that are at list price or above list price, or maybe give a specific dollar amount, saying, we would love to work with your client. Go ahead and give us your highest and best offer.
Okay. What about if the seller tells you, tell them if it's $1,015,000, that I won't even counter it. Like, if they just make the offer for that amount.
Sure. If the seller tells me to do that, then I do as the seller requests. At the end of the day, this is the seller's property. These are all the seller's choices. I'm here to facilitate the transaction, not make any decisions for the seller.
Okay. As a buyer, how do you deal? Because I know a lot of the things I hear is people, almost nobody is disappointed when they get the house. But I always hear people say two things. The first thing they'll say is, God, I hope I didn't, I went $30,000 over list price and got it. I hope I really didn't overpay. I hope that the number 2 offer wasn't $5,000 over. I hope I didn't beat them by $25,000, because
right.
I would feel bad. What do you say about that?
The same thing I said in the first place. Offer what the property is worth to you. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Even in the scenario where I said, well, I've got all these offers and I've got some offers that are at or above list price. Okay, fair. I have offers that are at or above list price. The buyer should still offer what the property is worth to them because there's more to an offer than just price. There are terms, right? So let me give you an example. $1 million house, I've got an offer for maybe $1,015,000 to your point. But maybe the other buyer offers $1 million right on the nose, but lets the seller stay in the property rent free for 3 months. Well,
Yep.
that might be of greater value. So even though the buyer is paying less than the other offer, they're offering something that is of value to the seller.
I actually had a listing where the clients wanted to stay for 2 months because they were having a new home built, and they wanted to be able to move from their house to the new house. And there were like 16 offers on the property. And, we just said, look, this is what's going to get the offer accepted. You have to give them. And a lot of the people didn't want to do that because they were in the situation they had to move into the house. Like they didn't want to rent or whatever. So it kind of chopped out a bunch of the offers. And this was in a really hot time. It was like 2004, I think, or
Well, so
maybe it's
the
2005.
reason I said 3 months was actually for a very good reason. Because if you are an owner occupant and you are financing, you have to take possession of that property. You have to move into it within 60 days. So somebody who is able, for whatever reason, to give somebody 90 days, all of a sudden that offer becomes much more valuable. So,
Right.
so there are lots of little nuances to it. So I go back to what I said before, offer what the property is worth to you and work on maybe other terms that might sweeten the pot for the seller.
Yeah, that's it. So that's pretty much, this language that we use this, it's funny because almost every time when I brief a seller on this, and I ask them this question, hey, do you just authorize me to disclose the existence of multiple offers? They almost always are like, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? And then when I get to the price and terms, sometimes they get this like, yeah, of course. Like, I just want you to get me as much money as, like, I want you to get me the best deal as possible. So I want you to do whatever you can do to get me the best deal. There's actually nothing in I read an article about this from the Realtor, from NAR. NAR actually specifically says that if the seller offers you to disclose, there's nothing in the code of ethics that's unethical for you as an agent to disclose to other agents the other buyer's offers, except that if it's illegal in a state to do that. But specifically the code of ethics, there's not like a standard or practice that says you won't disclose any other offers. That's sort of some states have a problem with that because Nevada has a problem with escalation clauses. They don't like them. They don't really allow them because it's not fair to the other buyers who are getting their offers amounts exposed through the escalation clause.
Right. Well, not only that, but through an escalation clause, you may have to actually disclose the identity of those buyers. So that's definitely a big no-no because now you're violating people's privacy.
Yeah. Anyway.
So those are just some things to think about. What's your experience with multiple offers? We'd love to hear about it. We appreciate the stories. Please leave us your real estate related comments. We appreciate them. Remember to like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.